Hello, we are here with you now, Zach, and we wish to use this transmission to share with your audience the deeper understanding of what it means to be a leader in this life. The audience that is gathering around your YouTube channel at this time has a particular interest in what it means to embody leadership as a way of being in the world. So the soul, the individual watching this transmission can take away the practical understanding of how to best impact the world around them, impact the lives of those that they are interested in impacting. And this is the collective that we are speaking to today in this transmission, because those that find themselves engaging in today's teaching will be those that are related very strongly to the soul purpose, the inner drive, the inner will to embody leadership in this life incarnation. To be a leader in this life, to be a leader as a soul, as an individual, means to be one who has the courage to follow their own desire, to be a master of what is called choice, to use your free will, in other words, in ways that cause the individual to know what it means to truly fulfill what they desire to experience and manifest. This is what it means to be a leader in today's day and age. To not lead, to follow, to be a part of the hive mind is essentially to have fear in your own free will, of your own free will. To lead others is to inspire others by being an example of what it means to have the courage to be aware of what you desire to create and experience in this life, and have the courage to then follow through on that desire and manifest a life experience that is in alignment with what you choose to experience. This is what it means to lead, because to follow means to resist the desire that you have within your heart, within your mind, within your awareness, out of fear that you will be judged as a result of following your heart's desire. And so those who resist this inner impulse, this inner voice, this inner guidance to experience what they truly desire to experience, those that resist this desire are those that live in fear of judgment from other people, because they, on one hand, on one level, seek to gain approval and validation from other people. They wish to be supported by other people by saying, yes, what you desire, what you are living in this world is something that we approve of. And so therefore you can feel safe to follow through with that line of thought, that line of creation. However, when one follows this line of creation, in other words, a line of creation that is influenced by the opinions of other people, the individual ends up realizing that what they have created has not been what they have truly desired, and therefore the end result has not truly nourished the soul of that individual. To truly lead others is to show others by example what it means to have the courage to follow one's own heart. This is the source or conduit through which one becomes aware of what they truly desire. This is what we may refer to as a heart's desire. You will know this in your feeling. You will know what you truly desire to experience and create by how you feel. The feeling that you feel in response to what you are desiring to create will indicate to you how aligned you are with the desire of your higher self. The heart center, which communicates through feeling primarily, is the channel of communication that is used by your higher self to indicate to your conscious awareness the desire of your higher self. And so it merely becomes a game of being aware of what the heart is communicating to you. And it will communicate to you the degree of alignment that you have to what you desire by how you feel. And so if you feel very strongly, very passionately, very excited, if you feel lit up when you are considering a line of creation to follow, when you are considering an idea to manifest in the physical form, then you are being guided to follow that inspiration based on the inner excitement and the passionate feeling that you feel when you give your attention to that idea. This is your higher self, in other words, providing you with its stamp of approval, the only source of approval that you actually require in order to then have the courage to follow through on that inspiration. You do not need the approval or validation of another person in order to then feel safe to create what you choose. Because other people have their own desires. Those desires may or may not reflect what you, in fact, desire to create as well. The only source of guidance that you truly require to give you the okay to go ahead on an inspiration is the guidance of your higher self. And that higher self communicates through the heart space. The heart space is one of feeling and sensation. So you then must become aware of the quality of the communication that is being transmitted through the heart space and what that quality feels like. Does it feel good? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel joyful? Does it lead to curiosity? Does it lead you to wanting to know more? Does it lead you to wanting to feel more, understand more, experience more in relation to that line of inspiration? Does it lead you to wanting to discover more? These types of sensations and feelings, these types of awarenesses that you have when giving your attention to a heart's desire are indicating to you that your higher self is in strong alignment with this idea flow. And so therefore, all you need to do is have the courage to rely on that inner heart's guidance as your source of guidance, as your source of inspiration. And as you have the courage to rely on that inner communication, which comes through the heart space, all you must do is follow through. All you must do is act. You have been given the go-ahead when you feel those expansive sensations and feelings through your heart space, through your body. The body is the tool of communication, showing you, yes, green light, go forward. This is where you will find more experiences of joy. If, on the other hand, when you are considering a line of thought to follow, an idea that comes through, and when considering that idea, when giving it your attention, and you feel nothing, you feel weak, you feel confused, you feel lost, you feel hopeless, you feel uncertain, you feel these types of feelings, it is showing you that the line of inspiration that you are considering is not something that your higher self is leading you towards. Now, there are some caveats here which we feel are important to clarify at this moment, because it is often experienced where it is often the case where you may be considering something that you know deep down is something you truly want to create and experience in your life, something you're truly passionate about. Yet at the same time, you may feel fear around going forward in that direction, despite the fact you know in your heart of hearts that it is appropriate for you. There may be some doubt, there may be some fear. And we've all experienced this. Humanity experiences these doubts and uncertainties very often throughout the consideration of following one's heart's desire. This has, in fact, been something that Zach has experienced on many occasions, which is why he now finds himself helping other people follow their passion, follow their life purpose, moving through the doubt and the fear that they encounter along the way. When you do encounter this doubt and fear, understand that it is not the higher self that is giving you the doubt and fear. Rather, you are becoming aware of the doubt or fear, the conditioned programs that reside within your unconscious mind that are trying to sway you in a different direction. And so it becomes necessary to practice discernment, to practice the ability to distinguish the difference between a fear that the ego mind is giving you, saying, no, don't go down this direction, because if you do, you may experience some humiliation, some embarrassment, some rejection, some judgment, some what you may call as failure. And the difference between that and the true knowing deeper beneath or beyond that conditioned fear, that this is what you are meant to be doing. This is what your higher self chooses to do. And so there is going to be this mix of emotion, mix of awareness, where you're clear that what you are doing is what your sole purpose is. However, at the same time, there is this kind of cross communication where your ego is giving you doubt and fear, doubt and uncertainty around or mixed up with what you know to be true for you. And so in these moments, you become aware of both energies, both voices, and you simply recognize that if I have this heart's desire around this life purpose, around this vocation, this inspiration, then I'm going to honor that. I'm going to accept that my higher self is in alignment with moving down this direction in my life. And at the same time, I'm going to become aware that my ego mind, the conditioned mind, the unconscious, is holding on to programs of lower emotions, limiting belief systems that must be cleared away or resolved so that I can more easily, joyfully, and effortlessly move down this thread or this line of creation that my higher self is calling me towards. So this is the essence of leadership, to lead yourself through this windy pathway that includes different challenges along the way. It isn't as though your life's purpose is one in which you can expect to have no challenges. Expect to have challenges. That's part of the fulfillment along your movement through this pathway. It's fulfilling, rewarding, and satisfying because you are allowing yourself to navigate the treacherous terrain at times that is your pathway of your life's purpose. That's part of what makes it exciting. That's part of the payoff. That's part of the reward. To say, yes, I followed through on my heart's desire. I followed that chain of inspiration and inner guidance, the passion that I have when I consider this thing. And I followed it through all of those challenges, the doubts, the fears, the uncertainties, the hesitancies, the rejections, the judgments. This is what it means to truly know what leadership is. To know what leadership is to lead yourself through the challenge. That is when leadership becomes embodied on a body physical level. You know what leadership is because you've had a challenge to lead yourself through. This is the meaning, the purpose, the function of having contrasting experiences in life. By contrasting experiences, we mean the beautiful, pleasurable, joyful moments and the moments that challenge your awareness of the beauty, the pleasure, and the joy. The moments that are difficult, the moments that include tension, doubt, uncertainty. This is the true purpose of challenge, to provide you with some kind of tension that you can use to challenge how committed, how devoted you truly are to following your heart's desire. You must be put to the test. Your passion for what you are here to do in this world, your soul's purpose, your mission must be put to the test. And it can only be put to the test when you are faced with the uncertainty, when you are faced with the doubt, when you are faced with the fear. You have to become face to face. You have to become aware of. You have to confront what you have been fearful of confronting. And you have to stand in the face of that fear and choose in that moment to make a new choice. Am I going to listen to the fear, or am I going to listen to the calling of my heart's desire, the calling of my higher self? Will I listen to that in the midst of feeling the fear? When you listen to the calling of your heart's desire, when you are feeling the fear, that is when you know what true leadership is, because you will allow yourself to then move forward. And as you move forward, having just crossed through a threshold of fear, that is when you level up in your understanding of leadership. That is when you embody a new degree of leadership. As you embody a new degree of leadership and you continue to move forward through your pathway, following your heart's desire, you will then encounter new challenges, new thresholds to pass through, to cross through, that you will now be more able to do because you've previously crossed through another threshold. You've added to your understanding of leadership, and so your ability to lead yourself even further is something that is now even more possible. This is what true leadership is, and as you lead yourself through this challenging pathway of manifesting your heart's desire, you will then be qualified to become a leader for other people, to lead other people down the very same pathway that you have led yourself down, that pathway of manifesting one's soul purpose, the reason for your existence here on this earth plane. Now, your pathway is going to look different. It will have its own unique challenges that are unique to your pathway in comparison to the challenges and pathways of other people. However, the similarities of you being challenged and them being challenged will remain. They will be there. And so you will be able to speak from firsthand personal experience of having navigated challenges. It's supposed to be difficult. There are supposed to be pitfalls. There are supposed to be obstacles, hurdles that you are meant to confront, because those hurdles do not in fact exist outside of you. They exist within your own consciousness. They exist within your own unconscious mind, created of memory, past experience. And as you come face to face with a past experience in the here and now, and by past experience, we mean a memory, some unresolved trauma from the past, an old emotional pattern, a mental pattern. As you confront it here and now through some life experience, you're given the opportunity to make a new choice. It's a choice point. As you make a new choice and say, yes, this is an old, familiar emotional pattern, something that used to hold me back, something that used to deter me from manifesting my soul's purpose. Now, as I'm face to face with that old familiar pattern, I'm going to bring a new energy into this old pattern. And as I bring a new energy in the form of a new choice, I'm going to choose to allow myself to respond to this old emotional pattern in a new way. As you do this, you bring a new, fresh energy into this old pattern, into your unconscious mind. You are then allowing yourself to transcend what was previously too difficult for you to move beyond. You are allowing yourself to learn the lesson that is being presented to you in this moment. And in this moment, you are knowing leadership. Leadership is the action, the decision and the action to make a new choice in the face of an unconscious pattern. As you make a new choice in the face of an unconscious pattern, you then release that unconscious pattern. You release what once held you back, and you have now effectively learned that lesson. You have leveled up. You have strengthened and brought more depth into your understanding of what it means to be a leader by leading yourself through a very difficult challenge. This is leadership. Leadership is the courage to follow your own heart's desire and having the courage to navigate the challenges that you will face along the way. We trust that your audience gained what was important and needed to be gained during today's transmission on leadership. And we thank you for this opportunity to provide this moment, this space, this platform to share the wisdom and expand, spread the wisdom of Atrioun to your collective, which is now growing on YouTube. And we look forward to the next moment that we have to share the wisdom and the teachings of Atrioun. Be well.